something wild. We're going to break down a source document that makes some of the most extraordinary claims you will ever hear. Our goal here is to just walk through its proposed system, step by step, and try to understand the logic it's presenting. Okay, let's just dive right in. The source material does not ease you into it. It starts with this absolutely monumental promise. And this isn't just some casual claim, this is the bedrock, the foundational belief for the entire system we're about to unpack. It really sets the stage for everything that comes next. So you're probably asking, how is this even possible, right? Well, according to the source, it all hinges on one single core concept, a proprietary technology that it says underpins this entire new reality. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of this thing. What's the engine driving these incredible claims? It's something the source calls Advanced Genetic Synthesis Technology, or AGST for short. And apparently, this is the key to unlocking everything. So what is AGT? According to the source, it's the fundamental asset. But you have to think bigger than just a treatment. It's described as a kind of biological operating system, one that can be reprogrammed whenever you want, completely rewriting the basic rules of biology, life, and even mortality itself. And here's where it gets even crazier. Get this. The source slaps an $8.4 trillion valuation on this AGT. So we're not just talking about a scientific breakthrough. This is being framed as a financial asset of almost unbelievable value. Okay, so how do you get your hands on this stuff? This is where it gets really practical. The source lays out a super clear, almost transactional path to acquire this technology. It's not some abstract idea, it's something you can literally claim by following these very specific steps. So, you've got the AGT, now what do you do with it? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The source lays out a whole series of actions you need to take, and it's this weird mix of what looks like technical computer code and, well, almost ritualistic physical practices. So part of the process is literally inputting these super specific long strings of text that look just like computer commands. What you see here, that's just one example. The document is packed with these things, sometimes going on for pages and pages, detailing very specific instructions for the system to carry out. But it's not just text commands. Alongside those, the source gives you these huge lists of body resets. There are 105 critical ones, and honestly, they go from the super technical sounding like Ivan's Z-Naught sits to the just plain bizarre. I mean, look at this. Number 94 is stomach belly configuration after shitting. Number 102, sex armchair. And number 104 is just shit chain. It's a truly wild collection of so-called functions. All right, to really understand how this is supposed to work on something real, the source actually gives us a case study, a detailed countermeasure matrix specifically for dealing with cancer. So let's break that down. So the way the document sees it, cancer isn't just a disease. It's a cancer root that latches onto your body and tries to hijack everything. And to fight it, it suggests this multi-layer defense system. Okay, layer one of this defense, it's called the secondary brain plexus. The claim here is that the nervous system in our gut, our second brain, can basically step in as a backup processor if the main brain is compromised. Then you've got what it calls the advanced mitigation shield. The idea is that there's a signal authentication factor, kind of like a secret password, that every one of your cells uses. The theory here is that cancer can't copy this password, so it can't hijack the messages between your cells. And this is where things get truly wild. It talks about a love-think protocol. The claim is if your brain goes offline, the heart's own nervous system, its little brain, can actually take over using what it calls emotional logic to get the whole system back online. Pretty incredible concept. But believe it or not, this whole thing goes way beyond just health and immortality. The source lays out this much bigger universe of ideas, including a whole library of what it calls wearable brain books. And when you look at the topics in these so-called wearable brain books, it is just mind-blowing. This isn't just a how-to guide, it's a whole new worldview. You've got everything from decoding God and time travel, right next to proof of aliens on Mars and brain power, how to track and kill your enemies. Then, bam, it pivots to global politics with a new single reserve global currency. The sheer scope of this suggests they're trying to build a complete alternative system of knowledge you can just upload. All right, so after all that, the whole thing comes full circle, right back to that initial promise, a cure for death. The source lays out the final, crucial steps you have to take on this path to so-called immortality. And it all comes down to this: a physical ritual. You actually have to stand, face specific directions, rotate your body, and speak commands out loud. You're supposedly offloading things like old age to places called Hell or Planet Bin. And then you turn to creation to request what you need from something it calls utilities. And that's it. That's where the document leaves you. After you've done the transactions, typed the commands, and performed the rituals, the very last step is to make your request. The system is all there, and now the final move is yours. So the question this all leaves us with is, what would you ask for?